I've asked Ted Sauerbeck, Deputy Audit General, to start off with a brief overview of the audit findings.
And we found that the Board of County Commissioners did not establish budgets for expenditures from restricted resources at the level the resources were restricted. We found that the TDC and the TDC subcommittees performed duties that were not of an advisory nature, which was contrary to law. We found that the TDC did not continuously review all expenditures of the tourist development taxes, contrary to law. And we found that the county purchased goods or services from companies or organizations that were affiliated with members of either the Board of County Commissioners, the TDC, or the TDC subcommittee, and these instances appear to represent a conflict of interest, which would be contrary to law.
To understand the circumstances that have led us here and the actions that have already been taken, it is necessary to take the opportunity to give a brief account of the tragic events that we, as the board members, learned of in April of last year. Additionally, I'd like to provide you with specific actions our county has taken and will continue to take in direct response to the fraud that has taken place on the citizens of Okaloosa County.
What level of oversight do you specifically have and understanding and knowledge of this?
And if the chairman was not available or was out of town or so forth, then I would review it as the vice chair and initial it, and then it would go to the clerk of courts for their final review.
When you initialed anything, did you review it first?
I knew it had already gone through all the proper staffs and attorneys and legal, and I reviewed it and I initialed it, sent it to the clerk of court.
You were good with it all at the time?
So I have to rely on the attorneys and the staff, yes sir.
So you were good with it at the time?
Yes sir.
Good.
You in fact did approve payments to marketing firms at some point during the auditing period as chairman, is that right?
Mr. Chairman, may I answer?
You were recognized.
Yes sir, Mr. Bates.
And Mr. Chairman, if I may, who advised you that that was proper to do?
It was part of the process, sir, as far as approving contracts and obligations.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. That's not really answering my question. My question is, which individual specifically told you to sign or initial payments to marketing firms as the chairman without those payments going to the full Board of County Commissioners for review and being on the agenda for public scrutiny?
All those, well, not all necessarily, but a large number of them. The boat, the Porsche and things like that were purchased for him through one of these agencies. Is that correct?
Yes. If you would like, Senator, I can read you the justifications that were on those documents.
Okay.
This is on an invoice from the Zimmerman Agency. It says the justification was a prize for a 2010-2011 internet/viral video contest, Bill Doobie, for $48,000. All right, what was actually purchased on a check from the Zimmerman Agency from Mr. Doobie was a 2008 Porsche from the Bill Doobie Hyundai dealership in Wilmington, Massachusetts.
So at this point, you have undertaken no action whatsoever, either at the administrative level or at the commission policy level, to rectify any of this other than asking for the resignations of the Tourist Development Board.
From the standpoint of staffing, not at this point, but from the standpoint of policies and procedures, many items that the board has implemented. I think that's what the chairman was covering in terms of making it a priority. Number one, that you fully cooperate with law enforcement. Number two, you implement immediate policy changes to try to ensure that there's no further fraud that takes place. That's been the priority.
What has occurred here is really a travesty. It was a national tragedy what happened with the BP oil spill, and what the lack of oversight and the evident corruption that took place is unbelievable to me, and as you could tell, many members of this committee. You know, to take something that the world is watching, and you had a responsibility as a county government and the TDC and everybody involved to have the proper oversight, to have the proper personnel in place, to not take advantage of truly a national tragedy. With that, I would like to turn the chair over to Representative Ray. I'm going to make a motion for the Auditor General. I move to direct the Audit General to conduct an operational audit of the Okaloosa Board of County Commissioners and the Okaloosa County Clerk of the Circuit Court, allowing the Audit General to determine the scope and timing of the audit based on the availability of staff and deadlines for statutory mandated assignments. The scope of the audit will be based on a risk assessment performed by the Audit General with specific attention given to operations impacted, budgetary controls, grant management, procurements, contracts, and vendor payment controls.
May I have all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed by the opposite sign? Mr. Chairman, it's approved.
By Wednesday of this week, you will get a list of who we would like to come back. We are going to go our subpoena route. I'm going to look into it immediately after this meeting from the TDC members and anybody else. So members, after the meeting, please get with me. If there's somebody specific you want to hear from, you let me know and we're going to try to get them here, of course.